Hello, it's Reija and welcome to another video. Today I'm doing another tag video, this time the 1001 books tag, and I was tagged to do this by Kazen from Always Doing, and this tag was created by MsReads A, and both of them will be linked down in the description, so please be sure to check them out. And without further ado, onwards to the questions. Lists. Do you follow any book lists? It can be a price list or a challenge like the Rory Gilmore challenge. I follow the Hugo Awards and I follow the Nebula Awards. So in that sense, I follow the the long lists and short lists for those awards. They are awards for the science fiction and fantasy genres, and I also am aware of things like the Rory Gilmore challenge, but I don't actually actively follow anything other than the two that I mentioned. Books. Approximately how many physical books do you currently own? How many ebooks? I don't actually want to calculate the amount of ebooks that I own. It's a lot because there's this thing called Humble Bundle. And Humble Bundle does these book bundles every now and then where you can get like an absurd amount of book titles for very cheap. Like recently I bought a manga bundle where I got like something like over 120 volumes of manga, like digital ebook versions of manga with 36 euros, of which part of the proceeds were donated to charity, because that's also a point of Humble Bundle, is that you can donate to charity part of the payout. So yeah, I don't want to estimate, but I would say that probably close to 100 to 200, if I don't count the manga. I have been a very bad person and bought a lot. Because it's so easy. There's so many good deals, and then you are just like, I'm gonna read that. It's just $1. I'm gonna buy that, and then 2 years later, you're wondering like, why is like no one left behind on this, like, or they both die at the end. I'm never gonna read this. Like, why is this on my e-reader? Like, it's the worst. Physical books wise, I probably have, I want to say probably 150. I want to say close to 150 books, possibly more. It may be 200, of which I have read maybe 35% of those. Yeah, I buy a lot of used books, so I get books for cheap. So there's that. And also, I never pass down a free book, so that is also a thing. Like, book collecting is its own separate hobby. Okay, it's just is. Books read. Approximately, how many books have you read in your lifetime? Do you keep track? So I actually completely forgot to even answer this question in the original video, so my bad. So on average, I read approximately from 50 to 70 books a year. It depends on whether I read a lot of comics also that year. Sometimes I have read over 120 titles counting comics. So I would say that on an average, my reading is about like a rough estimate of 60 books per year. So during my time on BookTube, which has been roughly like 5 years now, I've read there for something like 250 books or so. And if you extrapolate that by my lifetime, like before BookTube, when I read a little bit less, I would say that I am probably breaking the 400 books mark. Probably something like that. Maybe 400 books. Arabian Nights. Have you read any stories from the Arabian Nights? Do you have a favorite? If you haven't read it, do you want to? So, I have this like Finnish edition. There was this Red Books collection that collected different kinds of like mythologies and sonnets from Shakespeare and stuff, and all sorts of like translated fiction. in these abridged collections, and they were really nice, like leather bound. So I got that for my grandma when she passed away. And one of those books was like this abridged version of the Arabian Nights and 1001 Night Stories. And the only thing that I really remember from that collection is actually the framing device story of Sherazad. And I don't remember lots of the others. I mean, obviously Aladdin was one that was added there later. I also remember, like, I don't know if it was a part of the 1001 Nights stories, but I distinctly remember this one story where there is, like, is it a stork or like I think it was a stork. A princess is transformed into a stork, and then there's a romance with a prince and like a princess, and they both turn into storks at one point. Like I feel like there was one that kind of story. If you remember the story, tell me what the name of it is and if it is part of this collection of stories, because I have fuzzy memories of enjoying it from that collection and also as a picture book. And now I can't for the life of me remember what is it called and how it ends. I just remember storks. Flavors. Do you have a favorite food or flavor? My favorite flavor is sweet and sour. I like sweet and sour things. So, for example, if I have pizza, I want there to be tomatoes and pineapples and onion on it so that I can taste the sweet things and the savory things at the same time. I also like Karelian hot pot for the same reason, because sometimes you can put carrots in it, and the carrots bring out a little bit of sweetness, but then the meat and the onions bring out the savoriness, and it's great. And I like anything like that combines sweet and sour at the same time is great. So yeah, I'm also very much a fan of like all the kind of umami flavors. For example, like I love miso soup. I love miso soup even more when I dice in some rye bread into the miso soup, which some people in my circles call it blasphemy to do that. But I just think that it's double the umami flavor. It's great. So yeah. Pages. Have you read a book that is over 1001 pages? Is there one that you recommend and is worth the time? What is the longest book you have read? I can answer all of these questions with a single title, and that is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, which is my favorite book by Dumas and one of my favorite classics, and also one of my favorite anime series is a science fiction adaptation of The Count of Monte Cristo, Gankutsu. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's great. The Count of Monte Cristo in that one is a science fiction vampire who is blue. It's great. Buckets. Do you have a non-bookish bucket list? What is one thing on the list? I don't. I don't have a bucket list. I mean, there are things that I want to do at some point, but I don't have an actual like an itemized list of things that I want to do. There was at one point I wanted to visit all the countries in Asia, like all of them, and now I just want to visit everywhere I can and experience different places and different people and different cultures. At one point, I had an idea that I want to be fluent in 7 languages. I am fluent now in 2 and semi-fluent in another few, and I have completely tossed that hope out the window because there's too many languages and so little time. So I just hope that I will have an understanding, a basic understanding of as much languages as I possibly can, because I love languages. But yeah, I'm too much of a scatterbrain to actually like keep a list, you know? So I just do whatever I want. Numbers. Do you have a lucky number? Is there a story behind it? I do not, and I don't believe in lucky numbers. Or unlucky ones for that matter. Authors. Do you have a favorite author and or genre? So my favorite genre would be fantasy, and a subgenre of fantasy would be low fantasy of manners or like high military fantasy. Those would be the two types of fantasy that I enjoy the most, and those are very different from each other. Favorite author? I have a few. Currently, like Robin Hobb is starting to edge her way into like the top favorite authors because like she just writes misery and like tension and character turmoil so well. I love it. Ellen Kushner is someone who I view as a favorite author, mainly because like I have enjoyed everything she's written, pretty much. Everything she's written has meant so much to me and helped me figure out tough times, helped me figure out myself and parts of my identity. So, you know, it's just like she is a comfort and I will buy anything that she writes. So, yeah, she's favorite author. Activities. Do you have a favorite outdoor activity? Swimming. Swimming is not necessarily an outdoor activity, but when I do it, it's an outdoor activity. I have grown up by on the lakes of Saimaa. Like I was born in the eastern Savo area of Finland, and like that is the area where kind of we have the Saimaa ringed seal over there, and it is like all this beautiful lake area and pristine waters and stuff. So I have always been like going to like summer cabins and swimming and sauna and stuff. And my favorite outdoor activity is running from like hot as shit sauna to the lake, skinny dip there, get back to the sauna, repeat, rinse, do it all over again for a few hours. It's great. Highly recommend for those that are able to do that. And there you have it. Those were all of the questions on my part. I will leave the questions down in the description so you can check them out if you want to do this tag yourself. I am actually not going to tag anyone, mainly because I'm so late with these tags, so everyone who has been tagged to do this has probably already done it. If you want to do this, you're tagged. The cheap out answer. Thanks for watching, and the emoji of the day would be a moon, because we're talking about the 1001 nights, and moon is a night thing. So, like anything related to night, like let's do night-related, night-themed emojis in the comments. So let me know that you are here, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye bye!